Meet Craig. Craig is a designer in the Bay Area, and I wanted to give a inside scoop to his life. But first, we must figure out, where is he from? Where are you from, bro? Tell the people.
Hey guys, my name is Craig. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I was born in Roseland Community Hospital, which is the south side of Chicago, so it's not very nice. And yeah, so I'm from Chicago.
Okay, and what year were you born?
I was born in 1992. My birthday is June 20th, so
So it makes you 32 years old right now.
yeah.
You're an old
32.
hat.
Yeah.
You got a little grays coming in or what?
Not yet. I don't look 32, I don't think, so I would say.
All right. So how did you get into designs? How did you even get into landscaping? Because typically, I got into landscaping because of mowing lawns.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get in it?
So in high school, I started cutting grass.
Yeah.
But really, before high school, I've been cutting grass since I was a kid. So I actually have a picture of me in a suit. I was probably about 7 years old, right next to a lawn I cut. So
In a suit?
Yeah, in a suit.
How did you do that?
It just so happened that
Do you have that picture?
yeah, I do.
Here's the picture.
Yeah, it was very nice.
You're looking nice and spiffy.
Yeah, so I knew basically landscaping was what I like. I like to be outside. I like to be creative.
Yeah.
So in high school, I started cutting grass more. So back then, I had friends, different kinds of friends. So
What kind of friend? Tell us about the streets of Chicago, bro. Because I've already known Craig's story. It's pretty crazy. It's very, very, very interesting. But what kind of upbringing did you have?
So I actually had a really good upbringing. So my parents, they taught us respect. They taught us love. They taught us all the things that parents should teach us. But me, as wanted to be my own man at 10 years old, I wasn't really following that. So
At 10.
yeah, so
Not at 20. At 10.
so I was really rebellious. I didn't listen to my parents. I found my own friends in the streets, and because I didn't like rules. I didn't like following people's ways and stuff like that. I wanted to make my own way. 'Cause I thought I had all the answers. So
Yeah.
I found my own friends. I was always getting suspended. Grades was terrible. And this was like middle school. So
That's
like
crazy.
Middle school, junior high school, grades terrible.
When was the first time you smoked a cigarette?
I never smoked a cigarette.
How about some weed?
Weed, probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
never smoked weed.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you weren't even getting in trouble. You were just, what were you doing that was rebellious? At
Just
10.
like fighting all the time, every day fighting.
Throwing hands?
Throwing hands every day.
Scrapping.
Yeah.
All right.
Just getting in trouble at school, not wanting to do the work. Even as a kid, I knew, like, how can you put us all in this classroom and expect us to pass, teaching us all the same way? And I didn't like that at all, because I can't learn this way. I know I'm not. I was getting a lot of F's. I know I'm not slow, but on their scale, I am. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like school. I hated school. But I went just to fight and have fun and stuff like that. So came home. Yeah.
Did you make friends in school?
Yeah, I made a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends.
Did you ever fight with your friends?
I never fought with my friends. Ever.
Today might be the first day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I got friends today I never fought with. Still friends from back then. So, but long story short,
Okay, so at 10 years old, you were throwing hands, scrapping. What were you doing in high school?
so high school.
Did you make it to high school?
Yeah, I made it to high school. So, 6th grade, we moved to the south suburbs, and it was actually the high school that I was supposed to go to a school called Thornton High School.
Yeah.
And we actually went to a school called Bloom High School. Bloom was Thornton's rival.
Bloom?
Yeah, BLO.
Oh, Bloom. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so Bloom was actually Thornton's rival. So when we moved there, I didn't like it at all. I didn't even like that. I hated that school because I wanted to go to Thornton High School. So when I got there, just me and the kids, we just didn't connect, and I was out there fighting every day. So, yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry. Oh, did I make friends, or what was it? Oh, what happened in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then, so now you're 14 years old, and were you making money at that time?
Yeah, so back then I had a lot of friends that was in the street, so they was, selling drugs and
What kind of drugs we talking? Tell us some details, bro.
They was selling stuff like
Is it
you know,
is it green? Is it white? Is it
everything.
crystal?
Green, white, brown, everything.
What's brown? I don't know that much about drugs.
Yeah. So anyway, so while they were getting, I tried it one time, and somebody I was selling it for $20, and they came with like $10, and that's
Undercut
what people.
you.
Yeah. So I was
Damn,
like,
no respect.
yeah, I'm like, this not for me.
Did their parents not teach them respect?
Couldn't have.
Probably not.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you got cut out, and then what happened then?
So I knew that selling drugs wasn't for me because I'm not gonna keep selling drugs and coming up short
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I was like, what am I good at? So I could always go cut a yard and get like $25.
Okay.
So I knew if I cut 4 yards, that'd be $100. If I cut 8 yards, that'd be $200.
Hey, so for the people that don't know right now, what is the most amount of money you've made in landscaping lawn care in 1 month?
Landscaping and lawn care,
Yeah.
maybe in 1 month, maybe like 10,000, maybe.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And people work a long time to make 10,000. So
Yeah.
then the 10,000 that you made in a month, how much of that is comparable to what you were making like when you were 20? Because you're 32 right now. That's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
12
you're saying what I was making now or back then?
Well, now you said 10,000.
Oh no! Now the most I made in a month was probably about 70,000.
70,000.
Yeah.
Damn. Nuts
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah, I thought okay. Yeah, back then when I was doing lawn care and landscaping, the most I probably made was
10,000.
Like 10,000.
Okay,
yeah.
that's great. I mean, 10,000 at 32 is great, but 10,000 at 20 is even better.
Yeah.
So, how did you transition out of doing all the fighting and scrapping and get into landscaping?
Yeah. So what happened was a lot of my friends were going to jail for very serious crimes.
What kind of crimes are we talking about?
So they were going to jail for things like murder,
Murder.
armed robbery, like real serious crimes. So
What about Grand Theft Auto?
yeah, Grand Theft Auto, but you can get out with Grand Theft Auto. With these type of cases, they were going to jail for it. Like you will be in there for a lot.
Do you know right now of a friend that's locked up in prison?
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now. When was the last time you spoke to him?
Probably 2 days ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Is he cool?
Yeah, he cool.
Oh,
They
okay.
all cool people. You know, you just get into situations.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. You're not thinking. 2
And
seconds could change your life.
Where was he?
Where was he?
Yeah. Was it Chicago? Obviously,
Yeah,
it wasn't,
Chicago.
It wasn't California.
Yeah, everything was in Chicago.
Damn. Okay. And how
So,
old
yeah.
was he when he went to prison?
He was 19.
He's obviously never going to see this video.
No, he's not. He's not gonna see the video.
They don't have internet.
Nah.
No.
But you can get phones in there. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, interesting. Maybe.
So
So you can go to
possibly.
YouTube. Okay, so 19 years old, he got put in there, which is very unfortunate, and that definitely that hurts. And how many of your friends got locked up?
I would say around 6 or 7
Damn, 6
Yeah.
or 7.
for serious crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back then, like this was my circle. These were my friends, people I was with every
Yeah.
day. You know, people we was sleeping on the floors with, sleeping in abandoned houses.
Yeah,
and,
your brothers.
Like these was my brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, these are broskies. Okay, so for the people that don't know, Chicago is very, very famous or infamous, however you want to put it, for crime, right?
Yeah.
They call it Chirac, right?
Chirac.
Is there another nickname for it?
People from Chicago don't call it Chirac, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm from the north side of Chicago, where all the suburbs, all the white folk live. I went to, you know where Waukegan is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Waukegan School, and all the kids there were black and Mexican. And I actually got along with them perfectly. They were my friends. I remember this one kid named Elijah. He used to go up a tree and do a backflip. Like run up a tree and do a backflip. It's crazy. But okay, so now you are in a position where you don't want to be in a bad place,
Yeah,
right? You don't want to
right.
be locked up. How did you get out of that?
So what happened was, and another thing is, I was in and out of jail a lot back then too.
Yeah.
So
For what?
For just so I was always. We could talk about it. Yeah. So I was always the type of person who I was always like a money guy.
Uh-huh.
So I always had the ideas to get the money.
Yeah.
So when we do get the money, somebody tell or something to go bad and
Someone rats
I
on you.
get implicated. in it.
Ah.
Yeah. So that's really the only ways. But
Okay. And how much money are you talking about? By the way, this is all the fun stuff. If you guys are watching, you're like, man, give me the nitty gritty. This is what makes the person like. It's cool that Craig's talking about the story now because he made it out of that. But a lot of people don't make it out of that.
Yeah, a lot of them.
It's cool that I was a drug addict. It's cool that I was doing drugs, drinking, smoking, all that stuff. It's cool now. It's cool that I failed high school. Now it's cool. But if I was pushing carts at Walmart, it wouldn't be that cool.
Yeah.
My mom was like, told you go to school. See?
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of people don't know, like back then, I didn't even know this lifestyle was possible until somebody showed me. And like, because you wake up every day in poverty and you see what's in front of you. So you don't even know what's past that until somebody come and show you. So I understand why people make it out the hood and don't come back because just the mindset and the lifestyle, stuff like that. But, somebody has to come show them. So these
see the
people
light.
know, they
gotta
got
see the light.
shown the light.
Okay. So how old were you when you saw the light?
I was 24.
24 years old.
Yeah.
So that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago. Nice. So everybody was going to jail, and I was actually on house arrest for 2 years. And I had a lot of time to get away from, what I was around. I had a lot of time to think and stuff like that. So
right now at house arrest, you're locked up in your house for 2 years?
For 2 years.
So you're not allowed to leave?
Not allowed to leave.
Can you go in the backyard?
Nothing. I mean, you're not supposed to, but I was.
But you can go outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can only go to like the front. Like you can open the door and that's it.
So if your house is, okay, let's say this place. Could I go in my backyard?
No.
Only in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That's
crazy.
No vitamin D.
No vitamin D.
Damn. Okay. Got it.
So I'm on house arrest, and that gives me time to reflect. Like, none of these friends, they coming to check on me. They're not sending me stuff. I'm just waiting. So while I was on house arrest, I was thinking like, man, these last 5 years or like all my life, I don't have nothing to show for the money I have. What do I have from what I was doing? Just felonies and bad experiences, constantly watching over my shoulder, stuff like that. It's just all negative stuff. I didn't benefit or gain anything from it. So I told myself like I'm going to dedicate the next 5 years, and I also had a son on the way, so this is another thing that helped me change. I was like, I'm gonna dedicate the next 5 years to something positive. So, just imagine if I took my last 5 years and went to school or something.
Yeah.
I would have at least have a degree.
A degree. You'd be definitely more educated in a area.
Yeah. So, So I said, the next 5 years, I'm going to dedicate to doing positive things, thinking different, moving different. Like, I'm not going to do nothing the same because I know exactly where this mindset is going to get me. So let me switch it up. What can go wrong? So that's when I started to just change my crowd. I started to read more. I started,
What was the first book you picked up?
The first book I picked up was Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Excellent book. That's good.
Which was a really good book. Yes. So
how long did it take you to read that?
Probably like 2 days, 3 days. Yeah.
Oh, you went fast.
Yeah, because I was on house arrest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
So you're probably like blasting through books.
Yeah, I'm blasting through books. I'm on YouTube looking up motivational videos because I didn't have no motivation. So I didn't have no friends who was like, yeah, Craig did it. They was upset, highly upset that I was changing.
When you got put on house arrest for 2 years, did your friend circle that was hanging out with you kind of just disappear?
Yeah.
They just ghosted you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say like my main guys, like my two main guys, they was around often and they family was. But like just street friends and, people I'm just with having fun. No.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances.
So your two main friends, what did they do for you when you were locked up?
So sending me money, sending me pictures, books, answering the phones all the time, just being supportive, stuff like that. If I need anything done on the outside, they'll take care of it for me.
Example. Like groceries?
Like, I'll say...
Give me some burgers, boys. I'm hungry.
All right. So, like, if I needed them to... drop by my sister's house and maybe she needed help with something.
Okay. So something like that.
Yeah.
Something just like something that your friends and family would do for you.
Yeah, no murders,
Okay,
nothing
good,
like
good.
that.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So then now you are in the house and you have nothing else to do. So now you're just cramming books, educating yourself. And in that 2 years, how many books do you think you read?
So I actually started like towards the end, but I probably read about 4 books.
4 books.
there. Yeah.
Okay. So towards the end. Okay.
Yeah, towards the end.
And then when you got out, how did that feel? When you were literally allowed to step on the street?
It felt good. So when I did step out back on the streets, I had a plan, like because I could know what I want to do, and I could have it all in my mind. But if I don't set a plan to get there, then
Yeah.
it'll never happen. So
You need a roadmap.
yeah, I need a
Yeah.
roadmap. So I had a roadmap to where I wanted to go. So I got out. I moved with my sister, and then just from there.
What part of Chicago were you? What house were you locked up in?
So I was actually in the south suburbs at a family friend's house, a friend's family house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where did you go from there to your sister's house?
I went from where I was on house arrest to my sister's house, and that was in Indiana. So like right on the border
Okay.
of Chicago.
And by the way, for the people that don't know, some of you guys are watching this from California or New York, some big city, Miami, Indiana, Illinois, besides Chicago, the most boring places to be ever. There's nothing. There's literally flat land. And you drive an hour, there's nothing, and then there's another little town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so boring. It's insanely boring. There's nothing to do there. And in the wintertime, it's horrible because
Cold.
it is cold. It doesn't even snow that much. It's just slush. Not ideal. So there's a lot of boredom, just like people in Russia and the way Siberia, all they do is drink, drink, drink. Why do they do that? It's boring. Nothing
Yeah.
to do there.
Yeah.
So what did you do in your sister's house?
So at my sister's house, she helped me get a job at Portillo's, actually.
Oh, Portillo's.
Yeah, so I worked at Portillo's, but it lasted a while. But
What's a while?
I'd say like 6 months.
Okay.
5 months.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What station were you under? Were you making hot dogs?
I was on the grill, so I was making the ribs, the hot dogs, Polishes, stuff
So
like that.
now that you worked at Portillo's, would you eat there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They really clean, and
That's
they're
good.
really good. Yeah,
That's good.
so-
Portillo's is a very good. That was like my childhood favorite fast food restaurant to go to.
yeah. Portillo's is fire.
Okay, so 6 months, and then you decided to quit, or you got fired
I got fired
for what?
because I was telling people to come through the drive-thru and giving away food, basically.
Your friends?
Yeah, like
Okay.
friends, like I'll make a post on Facebook, like, yeah, come to the drive-thru at this time. I'm giving away free food.
You're marketing.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah, okay.
And, you know,
So then they let you go.
yeah, they let me go. After that, I started working in a warehouse. So when I started working in a warehouse, now I moved into my own apartment by this time. I started working in a warehouse, and I had a ex-girlfriend. She was pregnant at the time. So I was working the overnight shift.
With your baby?
Yeah, with my
Okay,
baby.
okay.
Of course. So I was working the overnight shift, and she was pregnant. So I will do my landscaping. I started cutting grass too,
Okay.
and landscaping. So
How many houses?
I probably had about 10, 15 houses.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
not bad.
How much was the house?
About $45 a house.
Great offer. Every week?
Like 3 times a week? No, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay, cool. So $45. So
Yeah.
if you're doing it solo, that's actually really good money
Yeah, it was pretty good.
because you're investing some of your time in there, and then you're making back. You're paying for gas, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
You're
yeah, I was,
definitely making more money doing that than Portillo's.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was doing like lawn care. I was doing some tree cutting. I was doing a little bit of everything. And then when I was finished with that, I'll probably take a nap for like 2 hours and then go to work on my overnight shift. And my girlfriend was pregnant, so I was like, dang, I can't really be there for her. I'm working, doing this in the morning, and then overnight I can't, because women, they need the cuddles and all that at night. So I was at work, so I'm working in the warehouse, and I'm like literally tired, exhausted, and I'm literally in there hallucinating, like,
He's running on no sleep.
yeah, running on no sleep. So
Running
I'm
on
like,
fumes.
man, I can't do this. I can't do this. So
Yeah.
I walked out. I was like, I'm gonna take landscaping serious because if I dedicate all this time to landscaping, then I'll be able to make what I'm making, and then plus my landscaping checks are starting to be like $2,500 a job, 5K a job. So
And with these 5K jobs, were you still running solo?
yeah,
Okay.
So maybe I'll call my friend for some help. I got a friend named Marvell. He comes through all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say, yo, I got a big job. I need your help. And then he
Yeah.
says, all right, let's roll.
Yeah.
How did you get these jobs? They didn't fall in your lap.
Yeah. So I used an app called Upwork.
Okay.
Yeah. So Upwork, Facebook groups, stuff like that. I'll post my work, and then I'll get the calls. And
Then
I'll
people reach
schedule
out to you.
them. Yeah.
And then were people trying to negotiate? Were they trying to haggle?
Not really.
Really?
No. So really, yeah, not really.
Did you tell them from the streets? And they're like, all right.
Nah.
No?
I had on my. I call them. We gonna talk about that.
All right, but how did you close these deals?
So I just showed them pictures of like other
Your
work.
past work.
Yeah.
So you
past
flex
work.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're
tell
showing
'em-
your portfolio. And they're like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I get them like a good price and get the job.
That's good.
Because it's more than what I'm making in a day at work. So,
Yes.
you know,
How old are you
profit.
right now?
I'm about 27.
Okay, so 27 years old. And then this is when you quit your warehouse and you're going full time.
Yeah, I'm going full time.
Okay, so now what's going on with you full time landscaping?
So I'm full time landscaping. And remember, the reason why I quit my job was because my girlfriend was pregnant.
Yeah.
So I quit my job. You know, some people will quit the side hustle and stay with the job because it's more
Of course. Steady.
it's more steady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew if I bet on myself, I will always bet on myself. So that was my first investment, betting on myself, and then getting into the landscaping full time. So my girlfriend, she actually wound up losing a child while the child was 2 months old.
No way.
Yeah, the child
Wait,
passed away.
Do you already have one kid?
Yeah, I have one kid.
No. I'm like at 27. Do you already have one kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the second kid,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my son was 2 years old at the time.
Right.
Yeah. And then this was supposed to be the second child.
Same girl.
Different girl.
Different girl. Oh, right. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. All right.
So she loses the child, and then I'm just focused on landscaping now. So as I'm focused on landscaping, it's getting bigger. So I wind up hiring some guys off of Indeed.
Yeah.
So they come, they work. They were from, I think they were Mexican.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
yeah. So they tell me like Craig, we don't like digging and doing landscaping. We like building patios. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell some patios then. So I started selling patios, and that's when I started watching Tigran, how
Oh.
to build patios
No
and stuff
way.
like that. So I started watching Tigran videos because I didn't know how to build them. I didn't know if they were building them
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
they started building them. I started selling them like crazy. Patios and fire pits. Patios and fire
Perfect.
pits. That was like my bread and butter.
Perfect.
And retaining walls. So after that, the next year, so that first year in business was cutting grass, landscaping.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I quit.
Yeah.
Second year, we got right into patios. So the third year, which was the next year, I started designing my projects. And that's just because I just wanted to be at the craft. I wanted it to be the highest it can be. So
Yeah.
I started designing my projects, and then a designer found me.
Okay, question. Before so right now, why were you installing patios and fire pits like your bread and butter? Because it's easy peasy. You just probably like rectangles and squares, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened where the customer was like, yo, I want to design. You're like, I need to learn how to do this. What happened?
So actually what happened was they said a customer was like, I can't picture this, or I don't know if I want this,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I said, you might like a design. So I charged them, the project was $10,000. I charged them $1,000 for the design. Mind you, I didn't even know how to do design. So I charged them for the design, and I went and learned it, and then created a design.
How long did it
and
take
sold
you?
So I probably locked myself in a room for about a week. and
House
just
arrest for
learned
a
it.
week, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's where my great ideas come from.
Ah. So now,
So-
now whenever you're going through something, you just lock yourself in a room.
It's crazy, but when I'm like isolate myself, that's where like I'm at my best.
Yeah.
which is
I agree.
yeah,
I
which
agree
is a
with
good thing, but it could be bad, but it was working out for me.
All my fantastic ideas happen in the shower or when I'm laying in bed, just chilling.
Yeah.
That's when I come up with my greatest ideas. My greatest ideas have been in the shower.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, this would be perfect.
Before or after the
What?
no, just funny.
Okay, so now you're locked in a room, and then you figure out this. What happened then?
Yeah, so I actually started working with UVision, and because it was pretty simple, and also this guy Cruz, he helped me learn. He helped me learn how to do designs as well on UVision. So I delivered it. They loved it. I sold it. I sold the job for like $10,000. That was my first $10,000 job. And yeah, we built it and it went pretty good. And that was actually my first job that got shut down because I didn't pull the permits too.
No way.
That was my first time learning about permits. So yeah.
Okay, so now how big was the business when you were in Chicago? Because you're still in Chicago, or are you in Indiana right now?
This is in Chicago.
Okay.
So the business month I was probably doing about. But back then I wasn't even tracking anything because
Right.
you know I'm still fresh. So I would say about maybe like $80K a year.
Oh, a
Yeah.
year
Yeah, in a year.
in patios?
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, for the people that don't know, remember we got winters,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So about May to November,
Mm.
right? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So about $10,000 a month.
Yeah, about 10,000.
About 10,000. Okay, sounds
Maybe
good.
a little more. Maybe I'm under. Yeah, because it was definitely more than that. So maybe like 125. I wasn't keeping
Yeah.
up with anything though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Okay, so then how did you get the great idea? Because now you live in California.
Yeah.
How did you get the great idea to come to California?
So
And when? When did you come to California?
so I moved to California in 2023 in November.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an incident that happened that basically I had to start from scratch. Lost the house, lost the car, lost all the money in the bank. Can't get into why, but lost everything. Had to start fresh, and then
I remember you had a Bobcat at the time.
yeah, I had machines.
Yeah.
I had machinery. We were doing $200,000 projects. Yeah, I don't want to skip that part. So our fourth year, well, our end of the third year, we got up to a project that was 350, and then part of my average project was around about 150K.
And you're around 30 years old? 28, 29?
I'd say like 30.
30, okay, good.
Yeah,
30 years old. All right, that's good. And then what happened with the projects then?
Yeah, so they were going good. Projects were going good. The only problem I had was I didn't know how to hire.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who I did hire, they wouldn't show up. They're not building things right. So I had to go back, to my old friends. Like, yeah, I got this job. Come help me out. And they'll always come help out whenever I called them. So I appreciate them for that. But I started to just say, at this point, I'm designing all of my projects as well. So I'm just like, I'm not going to deal with the employee part. I'm going to just hire companies to build these projects. So I started subbing everything out, getting companies to come in and build them. And then so the incident happened where I lost everything, I had to start fresh. And then I was just, I didn't know what to do. So I didn't want to start over in Chicago because that's just, I didn't want to start over where I already left off at because, I didn't want to repeat the cycle. I wanted to grow.
Yeah.
And then Tigran actually told me like, man, you're going to start fresh. You might as well start fresh in California.
That's true.
And then I always wanted to live in California and,
Because every time you came here, you were like, man, this place is so nice.
Yeah. So I love California. I always wanted to work in California, jobs on the hillsides and stuff like that. That was like a dream. So I was like, you know what, might as well, like, what do I have to lose? So I came to California and we just started taking off. We started working with companies as their designers.
The good part about having nothing is that you can just pivot quickly and just go to the next thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So now you move to California and you're 30 years old,
Yeah.
right? What's going on with you here?
30. No, I moved to California. I was 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on with you here?
So here, we started designing for contractors. We're designing for our clients now. It's going great. Probably doing around in design work, just starting out in a new location, probably doing around 75K in designs.
Perfect.
Just design work.
Just designs. No construction. You're not building any pavers.
Yeah.
You got any employees?
I have 3 designers and 1 admin.
Okay.
Now I do, but at first I didn't.
So the admin right now is helping you manage everything, and then you're going on all the job walks.
Yeah.
Right? You're selling the designs. What's an average design ticket?
So in California, the average design ticket is around 5,000-6,000. In Chicago, it's more so around like 4,000.
Really? Even Chicago,
3,500,
4,000.
4,000. Yeah.
And what's the most you've ever seen a design being sold for in California?
For myself,
For yourself and others?
well, for myself, the highest I sold a design for was 10,000. The highest I seen one sold for by this guy Matt Daly around 25,000.
25,000.
Yeah.
Matt, how are you doing this?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Damn, that's crazy. 25,000. He must have some kind of special sauce.
Has
And
too.
gotta have some kind of skin in the game because he's been around the block for over 10 years.
Yeah,
So maybe one day, you're on year 1, right?
yeah, year 1.
Oh, no, you're going on year 2.
Yeah, year 2.
Yeah, year 2. So you got 8 more years. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How long is the design? Okay, and for the people that are watching right now, because they see this and they're like, man, I want to start getting into designs. If they're doing construction right now, should they start getting in design?
Yeah, I feel like everyone should start getting into a design because, for one, it makes the construction process much easier. You got all your dimensions, you got your material list, you got your landscape plan, you got everything you need, so it's no guesswork. And then the client also knows exactly what they're getting. So you won't deliver. You guys will agree on the material, and then I know a lot of cases where the client doesn't like it when they see it, and they'll say, we didn't ask for this, and it's just more work, more labor.
Yeah.
And it just kills all the headache, controls the budget. It's a 10 out of 10.
It's very, very clear on exactly what they're getting and what the contractor is doing, because oftentimes where a homeowner doesn't really understand the language and the jargon of landscaping, and you say, oh yeah, we're going to do pavers here in the driveway, and if you're not specific with 25 by 30, the homeowner will come out and be like, oh, I thought my driveway was going to be 30 feet long, 30 feet wide. Like, no, it's not. But if it's in design, if it's written on paper, it's very, very clear. So let's say I'm little Johnny, right? And I want to start getting into, I have a landscaping business. I do like about $500,000 a year. And should I start learning designs, or should I hire someone like you or find a designer?
Yeah, you should hire someone like me or find a designer, because designing is more than just painting a picture on the computer.
Yeah.
You got to make sure things flow. You got to make sure the materials match the architecture of the house. You got to make sure that it fits the family. You got to make sure there's so many variables that you won't know unless you've been training as a designer. Because anybody could just throw a patio, fire pit in the backyard, retaining wall, but if it doesn't fit the family, the flow and the transitions, and you got to make sure that the placement is right, the right materials and things of that nature, to make it more look pleasing and also fit the family member, fit the family. It's a lot to it, so I would recommend hiring somebody that only does designs than a contractor, because if you put a contractor design next to a designer design, you'll tell the difference. It'll be totally different.
And it's different when somebody has a company, like at Applewood, I have Taylor. Taylor does only designs. He doesn't do anything about construction. But if you hire me to build your landscaping and I do the design, that's a problem.
Yeah, it'll look different.
I don't have enough time in the day. You know what I mean? You can't run a business and do designs at the same time, because how long does it take you to build out a $5,000 design?
I say about a week.
A week? How
Yeah, but that's all day. I'll say like 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day for a week.
Yeah.
40 hours.
Yeah.
You're banging 40 hours. And then at the same time, you're also getting on Zoom calls with customers. You're doing this. You're researching all this stuff. So it might take you 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For full communication, emails, notes. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of planning. Most of you don't have that time because you're focused on building, and as you should. But if you want to pivot, and if maybe building is not right for you, then you can do only designs. But obviously, you have to live in a good market. If you live in Alabama or Missouri, you can't do that. You got to live in a place where there's a lot of growth, a lot of money, and people there are very into building,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Even coming to California, I never thought in a million years I would even get, 10,000 just for a design. But this is the market, and this is where outdoor living thrives, I would say. So, yeah, definitely the location plays a big factor.
Huge, huge. I see a lot of guys that are in Texas, and they're by the border of Juarez and Texas. I forget what this town is called, but literally across the border, there's Juarez in Mexico. And he's complaining, I don't understand why I can't do business. I'm like, where do you live, bro? I pull up on Google. I'm like, dude, you're on the border of Mexico. There's literally gunshots. He's like, yeah, we hear gunshots all the time. What are you thinking? I'm like, what are you thinking? I'm like, you have to leave. I'm like, if you want to have a successful business, you have to leave. Go to Austin, go to Dallas, go to any big city, and that's where you're going to find success. Don't stick in your little town and try to make it work. It's way too hard. The best thing you can do is ask yourself, is there a company in my town that's doing $5, $10, $15, $20 million in landscaping? If there is, you're in the right place. If there's not, time to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Are there a lot of companies in the Bay Area doing 5, 10, 20 million?
Yeah. That's probably.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And how about in Chicago?
There are, but you got to go far out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the burbs.
Yeah.
In the burbs, yeah. And now, how's been the transition from cold Chicago to nice, beautiful, liberal California?
Oh, really nice. So I wake up, I just look outside and take a deep breath and look at the mountains and palm trees and the warm weather and the nice people, and I don't have to like watch the side of the house, make sure nobody coming through.
That doesn't happen here.
Yeah, it don't happen here. And then people always ask me like, would I move back? And I always say no, because the quality of life is much better. Just the air, everything is different, and it's much better. It allows me to think clearer, eat healthy, be around I would say like nice people. There's nice people in Chicago too.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Yeah,
so
I
like it a lot.
Okay, my experience working with designers has been very, very, I would say smooth, because the experience working with a homeowner that doesn't have a design, doesn't have a drawing, doesn't have a plan is very rocky, and it's very annoying. And I tell this customer all the time. In my first year, my second year, I took any job. People used to call me and say, T, I need a patio built. All right, let's do it. I go there with my wheel, and I'm like, how big is the patio? 20 by 50. Okay, cool. What else do you need done? Grass. 30 by 20. Okay, cool. Plants. And I just give them an allowance for plants, and we pick out the plant names later. Drip irrigation, mulch, lights. I'd do all that, put it in a bid, and I would send it to them, and that's how I would close my deals. But eventually, I was stuck. I was capped at 50 grand for a job. You can't really do a $100,000 job without a design, unless it's literally just $100,000 in pavers, or $50,000 in pavers, $50,000 in grass or turf. Very simple stuff that you can do. But when you have multiple moving parts, retaining wall, pergola, grass, turf, plants, irrigation, fountain, lights, all that, you need to have a design for your sake and the customer. So once I figured that out, I was always pushing customers to get a design. And one thing I used to tell them, I'm like, the amount of time you spend on a job not having a design, it's going to cost you way more than if you were just to pay $4,000 or $5,000 to have a design. True?
Very true.
Very true. Because at the end of the day, time is money. And why would you want to spend an extra 40 hours of stress and headaches and my contractor sucks, he just doesn't understand me? Why do you want to do that? Just get a design and have a set plan. You wouldn't start construction on your house without a design, would you, customer? And they would say, no, of course not. Same thing with a design on landscaping. So what has been your experience working with contractors? Because contractors come in all different types of shapes and sizes and skill sets.
Yeah, so it's actually been good. So I started out with working with contractors who just started offering designs. I started working with a contractor. Actually, when I first moved to California, I worked with a contractor who never offered the design and never, done a design. So he just started sending me all the work. He'll tell his clients like, yeah, we need a design for this, which you do, but they wasn't doing designs at first. So, even from him, we were doing about 50K a week, and I mean not a week, 50K a month just in designs, and I probably sold about like 800K for them.
Wow.
Yeah, just this year.
That's impressive.
Well, I'll say like half the summertime sold about 800,000, but that's just income just off of designs as well. So offering designs is a great revenue. So I work with people who don't offer designs, who've just started offering designs, people who maybe haven't liked their designer and they would just want some more higher quality, better renders and things of that nature. But the process has been pretty good. So if they have any questions, I'll let them know what to do. I'll send them a list of things I need, like elevations, pictures, videos, inspiration boards, and then I'll take care of it. I'll take care of the design from there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, working with contractors, I've been pretty good.
And do some of them send you? Let's say you're a dude and you live in Texas, and you're like, man, I wonder if Craig can make me a design. Is that possible?
Yeah.
How does someone do that?
So we have two options. So I could either get on the call and act as your designer, get on the call with the client and yourself, and we just go over some details of what they want just so I can get a better picture. And I'll take care of the communication from there. And then when we are finished with the design or is ready to bid, I send it back to you. But you would just go out there, you'll take the elevations, measurements, you'll get the survey if you can.
The best thing to do is get a survey.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
You pay $5,000 for a survey, and it just everything's handled.
Yeah.
And some areas, like in California, it's $5,000. Where you guys live, maybe in Nebraska or some town in Texas, probably $2,500. This is like very precise. It has all the dimensions. Everything is done, and you have to sell the survey as an investment for the client, because if they are going to live in that house for a long time, they're going to need a survey of their property.
Yeah.
What if the neighbor's fence is 1.5 feet on their side, and they can go in legal battle and get their 1.5 feet back? You can always sell it like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The survey will tell you exactly where it is.
Yeah, sometimes it comes with the elevations, and not all the time, but a survey is the best thing to have.
Yeah.
It saves you work. It saves you an hour, from going out there taking measurements. So I would say, I tell them get the survey, pictures, videos, inspo board, take a lot of just get details on everything so we can get the house right, stuff like that. And then send it over, and I'll draw it up digitally, send it over to you. We'll get the revisions knocked out. Or you can just send me over all the information, and if you have a vision, then I'll just, replicate that. Yeah, I'll work with you. But if you want me to design it, then I can design it.
The best thing is to remove yourself from that process. The less work you do on management and all this stuff, the better it is, especially when it comes to customer. Like with designs, you're an artist, and people, especially of their house, when they hire you, they get very sensitive and finicky, and they're like, oh, I want this. There's a lot of uncertainty. So they'll be going back and forth with you. You don't want to be going back and forth with little Johnny. You want to be going back and forth with the homeowner, right?
Right.
Much easier, because everything gets lost in translation, especially contractors. They're not the smartest of people.
Yeah.
Not the smartest of people. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah. So they can hit you up and get a design. How much do you think they can charge for a design that is simple, basic 2D? So
a lot of people don't have the confidence, or they don't even know what they can get for a design. So it's a lot of people selling designs for, $300, $500. But when you come with the correct information, or you just hire myself and I explain to the client how important the design is and the benefits and the value of the design, then, it has no number on it, because it's like air to a human. A design is what a design is to a project. So you can get a design anywhere from, for the contractors, I'm a little on the lower end, so starting at $2,500.
And they can charge a homeowner maybe $3,000.
Yeah, you could charge a homeowner $3,000. I had a guy charge a homeowner like $7,500. I just charged him like $3,500, and I get mine, you get yours. That's fine with me.
That's good.
Yeah,
and in the beginning, you guys shouldn't really be worried about, securing the bag. It's more about going through the cycle of getting a design done and actually servicing the customer, because you might make $500 on a design, $1,000 on a design, but then you might lose the job because you know what you're doing. So go through the cycle. It's okay to not make money on your first, second, third, fourth design. It's okay. the best thing to do is start building a repertoire, having a tool belt and showing the customers like, look, this is the design, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end, and this is the customer saying how good of a job we did. That's what will get you 100 jobs in the future, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we started off, even when I first moved to California, we started working with this company. We started at 2,500, then we went to 3,500, then 5,000, then 7,500. And this is all in about 4 or 5 months. So just building up that portfolio for your company and sticking with me, and you'll be great.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And because I can tell you the most challenging about being a contractor, a builder, the best landscaper in the world is, but what is the challenge for a designer?
So the challenge for a designer is, I would say maybe having the client understand the vision, because the client may think that, it's good to have an outdoor kitchen at the back of the yard, but it's not, because, you got to walk with the food, and, it might be cold by the time you get to the house. There's tripping hazards and all things like that. So just when we come up with our designs, there's a reason why we put certain things in certain places. So just getting some clients to understand that, I would say that's probably the most difficult. And then a lot of people ask me how I find my inspiration, and it's really from tapping within. So I meditate, run, pray all the time, and that's where I get my creative design from. So just staying level, staying humble, and always being at peace, that helps me create my design. So another thing is just staying out of environments where I'm just out of my environment, I guess. And so yeah, just staying in my environment, that also helps me with the design. So
That's perfect.
yeah.
And tell us about your morning routine. If I wanted to become a designer, what would I have to do?
So what I do every day is I get up 5:30, I stretch, then I go run 3 miles.
Every day?
Every day.
You did it today?
Yes.
What?
I was just telling Ben I did it today. Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, so I'll get up every day, run 3 miles. I come back
What time you wake up?
5:30. Well, 5:45.
Okay. All right.
So I wake up 5:45.
What time do you go to sleep?
So I'm working on that. So I've been going to sleep around like 11:30.
Wow.
But I still it's a non-negotiable to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
So even if I don't want to get up, I'd be like, get up, get up, get up, get up. Like
Man, I cannot do that. My life is ruined if I don't get my 7 hours.
So I'm working on going to sleep around 9 o'clock. So because sleep is important, but my mind is like trained to like, I gotta go get it. I gotta. So
You're in the grind stage.
Yeah, I'm in the grind stage.
Yeah.
So no sleep. Missing meals, stuff like that. Searching for the information. That's the grind I'm in. So yeah, I wake up 5:45. I run 3 miles. I come back. I meditate and pray, and I journal. And then I go into take a shower. And then I read. I try to read 20 pages a day. Right now, I'm reading The Natural Laws of Human Nature. Yeah, and then I start my day.
That's perfect.
So yeah.
And then you start cranking. How many hours do you do designs for?
So I'm usually crank them out for about 2 to 3 hours. But I also got a team of designers too.
That's
so,
good. Where
so
do
they
the team
crank them
live?
out. So I got some here, California. I got some in Chicago. I got some overseas. And we just cranking them out. The people overseas, they mostly use for just rendering, making them look pretty.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And just so we put them through Photoshop. We put them. Well, I use SketchUp and Lumion.
Yeah.
But just for my brand, I want everything to be the best. So
Crispy.
Yeah, crispy. So to get them more realistic, we putting them through, Photoshop, lighting apps. We playing with the shadows, the materials, the textures. It's just an extra step because when you are a designer, you can focus on these little things.
Excellent.
And to make your brand better.
That's cool. I know some of you guys are listening or watching right now, and you're like, man, dude, I relate with Craig's story. I want to reach out to him. I want to message him. So obviously on Facebook, Craig Daniels. And then there's a Instagram. What's your Instagram?
_creative444.
Yeah, _creative444.
Or Prolific Designer Manage.
there's so many, right?
Yeah.
I'm basic. My name is just Tigran Gross. You can find me everywhere. But him, if you want to message him and you're like, bro, I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Indiana. How do I get out of here? You're more than welcome to do that. I'm sure he would have no problem on guiding you through the path and getting you to the right destination. Because the most painful thing for me, I'm sure for you too, is when I was lost. I had no direction. I was like, man, I'm just doing stuff and things are not working. Everything is going against me. But that's because the problem was me. And until I fixed me, that's when everything started working. Now everything in my life, people say this all the time, it just seems like everything works for you. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Because it's me, right? It all has to do with you. So anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah. When you coming from a place where, you know, you just feeling lost, like Tigran was saying, or you feeling like there's no hope, or you don't want to go with the everyday life, or where, you know, school, you're born, work, college, die. If you just don't want to go with that and it doesn't feel right to you, then definitely, you know, get into what you're good at. If you don't have a way, or you don't have friends to motivate you, there's always the internet. There's 1,000 motivational videos. That's how I started getting the motivation and just the tips on, you know, how to react. You know, that was my guide, YouTube. And then,
Would you say when you were getting in trouble, you were more emotional? Someone would do something to you and you're like, you emotionally react?
I would say it was more like logical, because I felt like if I let him do this, then now somebody else is going to think it's okay to do it.
Okay.
So that was my logic.
Okay.
That's like, I'm trying to grow out of that, though.
So like vengeance, you were like, I have to take revenge.
Yeah, like I have to take care of this.
Okay. I understand. Most people are emotional. You can't do this to me. And then they act out.
Yeah. I feel like I was never connected with my emotions because I had to be logical. I had to think.
That's good.
Through life.
And that's a fantastic trait, to be analytical for business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So that's good.
And but yeah, so, and then if you do want to go somewhere, make a plan. You know, the people around you, they won't like it. Don't try to share your ideas with too many people.
Keep to yourself.
Just go full fledged in what you believe in, and you know, it don't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what's around you. As long as you got the vision, you pray, you stay motivated, you can do anything, literally.
Mm-hmm. And your surroundings are going to determine exactly where you go. So if your surroundings are garbage, then change your surroundings. And everyone has a choice. When you were in the south side of Chicago, it seemed like you didn't have a choice, right?
Yeah, it seemed like it.
But did you have a choice?
Yeah, I did. And I thought it was my parents' fault. I thought it was... Like, my parents brought me up good. They didn't, you know, raise me in the streets or nothing like that. I just chose that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So, but you do have a choice. So everything is your fault. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your friends. You can't blame your surroundings. It's always a way out. It's always a way. That's why I tell myself, even when I'm, you know, going through things, or feel like I'm not getting anywhere, it's always a way out. So just find out that way and you'll be cool.
Gang, gang.
Yeah, gang.
And before we go and sign off, tell the people, like, my life goal was definitely to have the life where everything just seemed to work out, and have the nice car, have the hot girlfriend, have a big house. Like, what is your dream? What's your goal?
So actually, when I was a kid, I knew I was going to be rich. I didn't know how I was going to be rich, but I knew I was going to be rich. Mm-hmm. So as I started growing, I'm like, man, I'm not rich yet. And then I started getting mid-20s. I'm like, I'm not rich yet. Then that's when it hit me that I needed to do the work. I needed to make myself rich if I wanted to be rich. So my goal now is not the money. It's to actually, you know, growing up where I grew up and just being around the people I've been around, is so many people all over the world who's trapped mentally. And they don't have any direction because it's a system, you know, it's not on accident that, you know, we're mentally this way. It's a system. So my goal is to, you know, break people out that mindset that, you know, the street life is cool and it's, you know, that's the only way. And that the street life is the only way. Because I was around millionaires in the street. So, you know, kids grew up, they seeing the nice cars, the jewelry. They think that that's the only way, but you know, it's a trap. These people not telling the kids the whole story. So I want to be successful in landscaping to show people in that space that, or in these hoods all over the world, that, you know, the streets is not the only way you can be rich and have these nice things from doing positive things and, you know, landscaping, designing, or whatever else you're good at. So
a legal lifestyle.
Yeah. So my plan is to be.
You're not looking over your shoulder when you're in someone's yard designing.
Exactly. Yeah. And when I was working in Chicago, we like literally watching over our backs the whole time. It's terrible. And I'm pretty sure they understand that. But yeah, a lot of people don't want to live that way. It's just, they feel like they forced to. So my goal is to just, you know, teach people all around the world that, you know, it's another lifestyle, and that to get out that mentality and to actually lead by example and not just talk to them. So,
well, I'm very excited for the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years to come. And I know you're going to do great things and build a very nice design company. And hopefully one day you just say, T, here's some work, man.
Yeah.
Here's some designs. You can go ahead and bid on this.
Yeah, it's coming next year for sure.
All right, let's go. All right, hit up Craig on Instagram, and then if you liked it, drop a like. If you hated it, drop a thumbs down. Whatever. It is what it is. Later, guys. Put it on your calendar, write it down, put it on your chalkboard, tattooed on your skin, whatever you got to do. Friday the 13th of December, I'm having a giveaway, a contest, an event. We're giving away trailers, giving away hand tools, giving away drills, jackhammers, all kinds of stuff. This is going to be a very interactive one. And the coolest part is I'm going to be teaching you a lot of things about job walks, job visits, instruction, management, employees, overhead, time, everything. We're going to lay out everything. It's going to be a 2-day event, December 13 and 14. As always, if you're in Go Gang, obviously it's free. You're welcome to come, invited, it's all good. Come have a party. But if you're not in Go Gang, this is the first time ever where I'm going to be doing this, where I'm allowing anyone to come, anyone under the sun. All you have to do is get a ticket, and you can show up and you can learn and see how it is from the inside. We'll be taking you on a lot of job walks. We'll even come here to this one. But first day, we're gonna give you job site tours. I'm gonna give you spreadsheets. I'm gonna show you exactly what the numbers are on various different projects. I'm gonna take you to some winners. We did a $600,000 job, made some money. I'm gonna take you to a $200,000 job, didn't make as much money as I thought. I'm gonna break down all the numbers with you guys so you understand exactly how we got here. What happened? What were the mistakes? What are the things that we did right? But most importantly, how can we not make this mistake in the future? Or how can we duplicate this again so we can ring the cash register every single time? Not only are you gonna have a chance to win trailers and tools, but I'm gonna give you some free game, bro. Some good knowledge. Show up December 13, Friday, December 13. It's a very, very easy day. Friday, December 13, Friday, December 13. Scary Friday, December 13. I'll see you there.